this great Indian teacher called Buddha Guhya Sangye Sangwa. There are two stories about him. One story says that he was invited to come to Tibet and he came. The other story says he could not come, but he sent a written advice to the Tibetans, advice to the monks, advice to the ngakwas, the tantric practitioners, advice to the, I think, translators, advice to the kings and ministers, things like advice to the women also, I think. There's 5-6 segments. So in that advice, there is a quotation which says, "Dovari du thome karche yangs, rangjung rigwe jamo rawanche, zeji sheba shebe nana ul, semji senye sheba chukji shao." So that was quite moving for me, because I'm overseeing this science project for the monks in the different monasteries. So when I was reading that text and got this quotation, I found it as an inspiring thing to challenge our scientist friends. So that says, "Dovaridu thome kharkiya." Wherever you are born in the 6 migrations, high or low, Rangjung Rikwe Jamu Rawache, the naturally born Queen of Awareness, Rigpa, is really the powerful one. Wherever you are born, that's the most powerful thing. Therefore, if my interpretation is correct. So this line is saying that knowledge of the material, knowledge of the physical material things are poor knowledge. One who knows the features and the definition and characteristics of the mind is really the rich knowledge. So the science explores primarily the external material physical things. Buddhism focuses primarily on the mental thing. Even your research into the physical thing is very much motivated and inspired by your mental thinking. You do a lot of work in the laboratory, but still what is behind that is your thinking. So mind is, at the end of the day, I think mind is very, very powerful. So that's why I was saying that in order to gain the long-lasting happiness and shun suffering, the key is the mind. Key is the mind. Of course, there are other facilitating factors which might help you, but the key is your mind. Whatever you do to achieve success, it is dependent on the mind. How you see things, it is dependent on the mind. Whether you can really enjoy something, dependent on the mind. Whether you can maintain friendship with somebody, dependent on the mind. Whether you unnecessarily suffer, dependent on the mind. So much of the suffering that we have is unnecessary suffering. Because of lack of knowledge, we are suffering. This is not just Buddhism saying, but there is a scholar who has written a book. In that also he says that if you are somebody who thinks that you are suffering, from 100% different kind of suffering, then if you sit down and explore carefully, then out of this 100% suffering which you thought you are afflicted with, 70% is just your mental fabrication. How you see it. It's not even suffering. So if you change your attitude, 70% of suffering will be gone like that. See? Now that leaves 30% of suffering. Out of which, let us say, roughly speaking, 20% of the suffering, out of the remaining 30% of suffering, is suffering, but changeable suffering. It is suffering, but if you, instead of sitting there and complaining, if you make an effort to change it, you can change it. So, 20% of suffering also, you can eliminate. So that leaves only 10% of suffering. Now this remaining 10% of suffering is not only suffering, but stubborn kind of suffering about which you can do nothing. So what should you do? So I always jokingly tell people, in that case you should say, go hell with you. I don't care a damn about you. Go hell with you. Meaning, for example, if you have the right hand and do not have the left hand, it is much better to focus on having the right hand and use it and appreciate it, thinking that there are many who don't have both the hands. Instead of focusing and spending all your time thinking, I don't have the left hand. As simple as that. As simple as that. So therefore, if there's something, you make an attempt, you make effort, then it's something that you can't change it. Then you can say, go hell with you. I don't want to waste my time with you. I'll do the other things, you see. Because there's so many things, so many aspects, so many things you can do. So the problem that we have is normally, when we get small problem, then we completely get bogged down with that problem. Oh, I'm the most unfortunate, miserable fellow. Look, I have this suffering. Others don't have that suffering. And you spend all your time and energy focus on that limitation and that suffering. Not being able to see the greater goodness that you can do, the greater happiness, joy that you can enjoy. You don't do that, you see. So that is called unnecessary suffering. So when you change your perspective by studying the law of nature, by studying the teaching of Buddha and so forth, you can do away with many of these sufferings. So that is the purpose of our studying any Buddhist text, including the Tantric text, like this particular text on the 21 Taras. Okay, so therefore you should, as I always say, take care. That means take care of your mind. Okay, so that's the focus. So now we'll read the 12th Tara, which is Tashiname Doma. La, 10 Rebe. Rebe, Nyangi Silve Doma Rebe. I'm in a hurry because I need to finish today. Nyangi Silve Doma Rebe, Reba, Nyangi Silve Doma Rebe. Nyangi Silve di Marva and di Marva. Di jail Mardo Tanda. Di Tando, di Samare. Nyangi Silve Doma. Chuba. Chuba did the Sarmase. Tayo Marva. Okay. Nyangi Silve Doma. Oh, they did it. Nyangi Silve Doma. Di Chuba di Ina, Taduxri, Nyangi Silve Doma Ina. Hola so. Chansa Rabdu Gawa Jibe. Sidirwa. Homage to you, Tara, whose radiant crown ornament, Sevudwa, joyful and magnificent, extends gallant of light, and who, by your laughter of Tutara, conquered the demons and all of the worlds. That and Chansa said, to whom you are paying homage, you are paying homage to this Doma, which is called the Doma that dispels lamentations, sadness. That means sadness that is found within all embodied sentient beings, and she dispels all the sufferings of sentient beings, and she overpowers all the evil forces and those who engage in the wrong ways of life. And so in terms of the ornaments, the major and minor ornaments that this Tara has, it is so magnificent that when you look at it, it looks like that everything that is beautiful is put together. Everything, even if you put everything that is beautiful together, it will not be able to excel the magnificence, the beauty that is radiating from this magnificent major and minor signs of the Tara. Whose radiant crown ornament, joyful and magnificent. So from that joyful, magnificent major and minor signs, symbolized by those ornaments, radiates infinite lights to all directions, and even in terms of our headgear or head crown, it is made from precious jewels, including the best kind of gold, and then decorated with all kinds of small precious gems and jewels. And from all those radiates rings of rays of light to all kinds of directions, and those rays of light removes the negative actions, afflictive emotions which are like darkness. So that's what we do. When you engage in a tantric practice, visualization is very important. Visualization. Because here one thing that is really important to know is, why should I visualize myself in the form of a particular deity? Why should I visualize myself thinking that a rays of light coming from the head, throat and the heart of the Tara or any tantric deity entering into your head and throat and heart and removing all your suffering? How does this work? You might think like that, but it really works, because as I said already, that your way of thinking makes a huge difference. It's all your thinking. For example, you try this. I was thinking about doing some meditation, but we have no time. But anyway, in the morning you get up and just sit 5 minutes, as I said earlier, appreciating that you are again alive as a human being, and then reflect on the image of a Buddha or His Holiness and something. Just keep quiet and remain silent and feel your breath. Okay? Try to remain within. The kind of peace and joy that you get from there is amazing. So try that. So that indicates that the real peace and happiness, the long-lasting peace and happiness, has to come from within. From within. A clear indication is the whole day we run around, chasing some people, chasing some objects, doing this work, doing that work. It's all external. It's all external. That at the end of that, normally we say, "Oh, I've been running the whole day. I'm so tired. Leave me alone." See? Leave me alone. And you want to remain alone and let your mind, go a little bit within, and you get peace. That's called resting. So therefore, the peace that you get within, because if you look at the mind, even though you go inside, but if you look at the mind, the nature of the mind is such that it's infinite, like a space. So therefore, you get a lot of room there, a lot of exercise to do, a lot of qualities to develop. It's not suffocating. Normally we think, "Oh, I don't like to go within," You might think it will be suffocating. But when you actually look at the nature of the mind, it immediately mixes with the kind of space. Because the nature of the mind is such that is, shapeless, colorless, and non-physical. So the quality is similar like the space. Space means you get a lot of space for construction, movement, and doing everything. So similarly, there's a lot of space within. But unfortunately, because of our too much focus on the external material object, we never appreciate that. So there's a lot of space for development, for spiritual development. But unfortunately, we don't do it. So even the scientists, they say that the kind of knowledge that they have right now by using the brain or tools and so forth is just a tiny percentage. Very tiny percentage. So with the brain that we have used very tiny percentage. So therefore, if you reflect within, there is a lot of possibility for peace, happiness, and development. Similarly, the speech of their Tara is always fulfilling the purpose of sentient beings, and to show that she is very happy in giving teachings and so forth to fulfill the sentient beings. You will find her laughing. See, that is the meaning. Shepa Rabshi. Shepa means laughing. You by the laughter of Tutara. Dirave. Shepa Rabshi. That details do a check to translation. So there's two kinds of laughter. The first is called laughter. The second is almost like great laughter. So the first laughter means that this laughter from the Tara says that she is very happy to talk to people, to help people, to give teaching, showing the path. So Shepa Rabshi. So the laughter, the kind of laughter that he has is ha ha, ha ha. Want to give a good ha 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 like Radina, same gun, same thing. In order to benefit others, she's happy. Shepa. So that's the meaning of laughter. Shepa Rabshi. Shepa. Ha Shepa Dana. And not only that, she has not only laughter, but she has a great laughter. And by that great laughter, she is able to subdue all the fearful, unruly, negative sentient beings. So that laughter comes through he. The first laughter is ha ha. So that laughter is the laughter of happiness. The second is he. Sometimes the he is a kind of laughter by small kids. He. But in this case, it's a he. It's like you show your power, and you easily tame the negative demons. There are so many different kinds of laughters. Then there is a laughter called he. Then if you want to show yourself very, very powerful, ho. Like there's so many types of laughters mentioned in the text, but this text mentions two here. By the laughter of Tutara. By the laughter of Tutara means the laughter of the mantra, the 10-syllable mantra of Tara. And that destroys, conquers demons and lords of the world. Not only ordinary demons, but even the most powerful worldly beings. So this Tara is red color, and she's in a very kind of enjoying mood, sitting on a lotus and moon seat. One face, 4 arms. The first 2 arms are on the crown, showing the joy together, expressing joy. And the second of the right hand has a sword. The gesture holds a sword. And then second of the left hand is holding a tree, the tree without lament. Okay. The 11th Tara is called Gukshin Pongpa Silve Doma. Arya Jagat Shit Tara. Pongpa Silve Doma. So she is praised in terms of her existing you in terms of fulfilling activities related to the 10 directions. So therefore she is called the directional guardians. Homage to you, Tara, who are able to invoke the entire assembly of local protectors, whose wrathful expression fiercely shakes, rescuing the impoverished through the letter whom. So that means she is called the guardian of the ground, or the rescuer of the protector of the earth. So guardian of the ground or earth means it refers to the 10 directions. In other words, she is controlling the deities or beings of the 10 directions, including Jajin, Yama, Chudak, Yaksha, fire deity, Ogress, wind deity, Bhutas, Brahman, and so forth. Similarly, all those that are followers of these great beings of the 10 directions. So she is able to control them, sometimes through peaceful activities, some through increase, sometimes through power, sometimes through wrathful activities. So she is able to summon them through her power, who are able to invoke or summon the entire assembly of the local protectors, whose wrathful expressions fiercely shakes, rescuing the impoverished through the letter whom. Because she has a wrathful face, and from her, in her heart, there is a syllable whom, and from there arises rays of light and also hooks, which is able to invite all the things that you need, and that in turn she is able to dispel the poverty of all sentient beings, particularly those who are experiencing great poverty, and giving them peace. So that's the meaning. Rescuing the impoverished through the letter whom. So depending upon whatever is your need, she is able to grant their needs and shower upon them her blessings. So this Tara is dark, and she is sitting on a sun disk and a lotus, and her right leg is outstretched and in a dancing gesture. She has one face, two arms, and from the 8 directions. So she is holding a hook, which is summoning the beings of the 8 directions, and her left hand is holding a lasso. Okay. Tene chungi bade tahi nawe doma. Arya Mangala Lokatara. So she is praised in terms of her headgear and in being the honor of the lineage and so forth. Homage to you, Tara, whose crown is adorned with the crescent moon, wearing ornaments exceedingly bright. From your hair knot, the Buddha Amitabha radiates eternally with great beams of light. So she, on the head as an headgear, she has a small moon, not the full moon, but crescent moon, which you can see on the top. Okay, so it's like half moon, or moon when it's the first or second day. So she uses that moon as her head ornament, and from there emits rays of light. And similarly, the necklaces and other ornaments, from all those ornaments arises rays of light, and that destroys the arrogance of all the great worldly beings. And her hair is completely black and oily, and amidst that you will see her Lama Amitabha, who is the honor of the lineage. And from that body always emits rays of light, countless infinite rays of light, which dispels all the downfalls and shortages within the samsara and also solitary nirvana, and thereby giving auspiciousness forever for everybody. So she is a golden color and sitting on a multicolored lotus seat, and on that there is the moon disk, and on that she is sitting in a Vajra cross-legged posture, and she has one face and 8 arms. The first hand or arm is holding a trident, second a hook, third Vajra, fourth sword, and the first of the left hand holds at her heart a precious jewel, gem, and the second is holding a hook, third a stick, and fourth a vase, a pot. The 13th is young member Chevedoma. Arya Parichayak Tara. Homage to Tara, whose crown is adorned with homage to you, Tara, who dwell within a blazing garland that resembles the fire at the end of this world age. Surrounded by joy, you sit with your right leg extended and left withdrawn, completely destroying all the masses of enemies. So she is surrounded by this fire, which symbolizes the fire of wisdom, which is equal to the fire of the end of the eon. So with that kind of agitated, blazing fire, she is found within that fire. But inside her mind, she is free from all kinds of fabrications, because her mind is in the state of shunyata, or the ultimate reality of everything. So her mind is not fluctuating as you see in the fire, although externally there is this fluctuating, agitated fire, but her mind is in a complete meditative stabilization. And she is therefore, but she is able to manifest herself into all kind of forms to tame the suffering sentient beings. Her right hand outstretched, left leg withdrawn, and she has a wrathful posture and form. So the posture of the legs is almost, if they are a little bit, circling. So there is a particular gesture which shows joy, and thereby she destroys all the external and internal enemies. Surrounded by joy, you sit with your right leg extended, left withdrawn, completely destroying all the masses of enemies. So this Tara, her color is red, and sitting on a lotus and sun disk is her seat. And her right leg is outstretched. One face, forearms, and her eyebrows and the lips are moving upward with little bit effort. And the right hand is holding a sword. The first of the right hand holding a sword, second an arrow, and the first of the left hand is holding a wheel, and the second of the left hand is holding a bow. So 14. The 14th one is Tonyin Yobe Toma Arya Brikuti Tara. Arya Brikuti. Homage to you, Tara, with hand on the ground by your side, pressing your heel and stamping your feet on the earth. With a wrathful glance from your eyes, you subdue all 7 levels through the syllable hum. So this is also in the wrathful form, and also she has a tent of wrathful and attachment together. So Yichimbungula found herself on the surface of the great earth, and she very forcibly claps her hand, which is really like a thunderbolt being pressed together. And by doing that, she is able to destroy all the harmful spirits, just like breaking the X between 2 great rocks. And likewise, her the sole of her 2 feet also very forcibly tramples on the ground, destroying and splitting the head of all the wrongdoers, harmers. And she has a very wrathful face, and because of this wrathful feature, even from her nostril, there comes a very forceful wind. Wind is coming from the nose, and that would, even those wind coming from her nose will dispel or send away the negative forces. And verbally she repeats this Yige Hungita as if it is the sound of a dragon, so powerful that destroys all the negative evil forces, human beings or non-human beings, harmful spirits and so forth, who may be in any of the 3 realms, three levels, underground, on the ground, above the ground, or even under the 7 levels under the ground. So in this way, you should think that by remembering this or visualizing this Tara, she is able to destroy all the hindrances, obstructions that may be there in your pursuit of spiritual practice, or even evil forces, or malevolent forces, evil spirits. Just as we have good human beings, they are bad. Just as we have good human beings, bad human beings, so among the spirits also there are good ones, bad ones. So therefore sometimes we talk about evil spirits like Shugden, malevolent forces, you see, born out of bad prayer. Then praying to Tara is of great benefit. This Tara has black color and sitting on a sun disk and a lotus, yellow reddish lotus, her right leg outstretched, and her leg is pressing a hungry ghost, and she has three faces, and each of the face has 3 eyes, and the main face is black, the right white, left red. She has 6 arms, and she has a wrathful face, and carries that grimace on her face, and she in her mouth has the human internal in her mouth. Yeah. And she also has on her crown the heads of the garlands of human head. Go. And also down. She wears a tiger skin and adorned with 8 different kinds of snakes. The first hand holding a sword, second a hook. The first of the right hand is holding a sword, second a hook, third stick. And the first of the left hand is holding a skull filled with blood, second a lasso, and third a head. So we are primarily talking about the great benefits of meditating on the Tara, that she is able to help in removing all kinds of downfalls. Okay, you may not be able to understand all this right now, because why she is having all these hand implements, why she is having all these ornaments, each of has a spiritual dimension and representation. It's not needed that she has actually all those kind of garlands with the snakes and things like that, but this all symbolizes something. There is a spiritual dimension. So those of you who are interested can then explore what all this means. I remember very clearly once His Holiness was giving this Devachen Shida in Lower Tantric College, a long time back. That was in the initial stage of my being translated to His Holiness. So there are a lot of wrathful practices in the Tantra. Because His Holiness was giving a transmission, he had to read all this. And there were 30 or 40 foreigners were there, and I was translating. So His Holiness one day asked me, "Did you get any response from these foreigners listen to you?" I said, "Yes." There's one lady, she came to me and she said, "There's so much wrathful practices here. I can't stand this. I feel uncomfortable. So thank you for translation. I'm not attending the teaching from tomorrow onwards." So I said, there is a lady who told me this. He always said, "Nyingje, nyingje," He always said, "Nyingje, nyingje," "Nyingje, nyingje." That means it is really good that she has this compassion. She has this compassion. But this wrathful practice is not against compassion, but it's actually meant to destroy the negative emotions in various forms. It's not really killing somebody like that. Okay? It's really destroying the negative emotions, the personified form of negative emotions. But when people are unable to understand that, then they might feel very unhappy, you see, because they come to receive teaching, Buddhist teaching, which is based on compassion, wisdom, so forth, and then suddenly you find they're talking so much about destroying this spirit, that spirit, so they feel uncomfortable. Okay? Oh dear. Huh? Next is Shivachimo Dvameteva, Arya Mahashant Tara. Arya Mahashant Tara. Homage to you, Tara, O happy, virtuous, and peaceful one, the very subject of practice, past beyond sorrow. You are perfectly endowed with Soha and Om, overcoming completely all the great evils. So this Tara, who is called the Arya Mahashant Tara or Shivachimya Dolma, she's called homage to you, Tara, O happy. I mean, the translation varies, So that basically means one who is happy, one who is in a state of well-being, because she is always in the meditative state of experiencing the great bliss, uncontaminated great bliss. So therefore she is in a very happy state. And she is also the virtuous one. Happy, she is also the virtuous one, because she has completely got rid of all the non-virtuous practices. So clearly saying that if you get rid of all the non-virtuous practices, you will always be virtuous, you will always be happy, by implication. And the peaceful one. And the peaceful one, because she is not contaminated and polluted by any of the two obscurations, the obscuration to nirvana and obscuration to enlightenment. And in this way she has transcended the suffering and achieved liberation. So the great peace, which is the transcendence of suffering or nirvana, is her object of engagement, means that she is in a state of having actualized that state. So that is her nature. And similarly, whoever practices Tara, and if you practice her by reciting their 10-syllable mantra, which starts with the letter Om and Swaha, you are perfectly endowed with Swaha and Om. Om Tare Ture Swaha. So these two words, Om is the beginning and Swaha is the end. So that shows the 10-syllable letters. So Tara is perfectly endowed with Swaha and Om, and we as followers also, if we practice that, then we will be able to overcome all the great evils as Tara has done. This Tara is of white color, one face, 6 arms, sitting on a white lotus and moon disk, moon seat, and she is sitting in a Vajra cross-legged posture. The first of the right hand is holding a garland at her heart. Second is in the gesture of giving the supreme bliss. Third is holding a stick. And the first of the left hand is holding a lotus. Second is holding a pot. And the third is holding a scripture, a volume scripture. 16. Chakpan Jombe Doma. Arya Rak Nishudan Tara. That's Sanskrit Sigdaresha. Homage to you, Tara, surrounded by the joyous ones. You completely subdue the bodies of all enemies. Your speech is adorned with the 10 syllables, and you rescue all through the knowledge letter Hum. Homage to you, Tara, surrounded by the joyous ones. That means if you want to receive a teaching, you need to request that teacher to give you the teaching. Sungjo naro chese sobandep gogdoa, choji kholo korvas, sobandep gogdoa. So among the followers and the students, if there are those who have very strong faith and who would thereby request a particular teacher to turn the wheel of the Dharma, then on those occasions it is also possible that the evil forces might come and interrupt Rwa samsam yang sungju hyuna ya parjechene lame ge sungju nang motivate tinde yungu yorba odire. So this Tara is there to help you destroy those evil forces. Homage to you, Tara, surrounded by the joyous ones. You completely subdue the bodies of all enemies who would obstruct. That is surrounded, say, there's a takta chitig yumengi hakumado. The jury sing the lela oyamar. Your speech is adorned with the 10 syllables. At her heart is the syllable tam, surrounded by the 10 syllable mantras, Om Tare Tu Tare Ture Soha. And at her heart is that knowledge mantra. That dua, knowledge letter hum says dua dire. And that seed syllable hung is surrounded by rings of mantra which is called Om Nama Tare, Namo Hari, Hung Tare Soha. So this Tara is a kind of emanation or embodiment of those mantras. Or in other words, you can also interpret it as by saying that with these rings of mantra surrounding the seat mantra hung arises lamps or lights, and the rays of light emanating from that lamp destroys or dispels all the external and internal harms and obstructions. And she is of red color, one face, 3 eyes, 2 hands, and she's sitting on a red yellowish lotus, and on there is a sun disk, and she's sitting there in the manner of bodhisattva posture. The right hand is holding a trident at her heart, and the left hand is holding Nyingbo Cheba. Nyingbo Cheba means is a kind of tree, small tree, which has the essence. Essence means fruit, which has the fruit. Nyingbo Cheba. Page dua. Hing do meto yugi dua. The Nyingbo Cheba. No this is your index. 17. Chapon jombe dometoba. Didn't take over. Devar dube dometoba. Arya Suk Sadantara. Arya Suk Sadantara. Devar dube dometoba. Dila. Homage to you, Tara, stamping your feet and proclaiming Ture. Your seed syllable itself in the aspect of home causes Meru, Mount Meru, Mandara, it's also a name of another mountain, and the Vindhya mountain, Jagarnal Yorwa Sama, and all the 3 walls to tremble and shake. So this is to say that her compassion and her sublime activities are quick, just like lightning. So therefore she is also referred as Ture. Ture means quick. Okay? Homage to you, Tara, stamping your feet and proclaiming Ture, that means quickly, swiftly. And her two legs very forcibly stamping or trembling on the ground. And this, in the case of the aspect of this Tara, she arose from the syllable hung, that means the seed syllable hung. So she is in a wrathful aspect. And if you ask why she is stamping her feet on the ground so forcibly, that is to show that she has control over all the big powers residing in Mount Meru, Mount Mandara, Rivumbikji, Vindhya Semarvedanta. Rawa Deepagi Pachmari Shola Yoga, Rawa Rivumbikji. When we were in the Pachmari school, we used to sing that song. Bigji Rivu Menjung Nanzeba. Pachmari Lobdala Serachire. Bigji tam or Kelasha to Zoli Yodingi. and all three walls to tremble and shake. That is the purpose. Okay. And she has a red yellowish color, one face, two arms, sitting on a lotus sun seat in a bodhisattva posture, and both the hands together holding a moon disk at her heart. Dua karvuch dua, moon disk. Both the hands holding together. Next, the 18th is number Jeve Doma. Arya Vijayatara. Arya Vijayatara. Number Jeve Doma. Homage to you, Tara, who hold in your hand the hair-marked moon like the celestial ocean by uttering Tara twice. Sometimes they say it's not Tara, it is Hara. There are two versions. Sometimes they say Tara, sometimes they say Hara. By uttering, here it says Tara, by uttering Tara twice and the letter Fate, you dispel all poisons without exception. That like sometimes you may be harmed by taking poisonous food. Poisonous food. Did it? Yeah. So her face is very white, like the leg of the celestial beings, or a clear running stream. And she is holding that moon at her in her hands, and she has the capacity to dispel any harm that comes from poison. And the possibility to dispel all the harms that is received from all kind of poison is possible primarily by reciting this mantra, which contains two Tara. Tara Ni Ju Sedua, Tara Ni. So in that mantra, this word Tara comes two times, Tara Ni Ju. By uttering Tara twice and the letter Fe. So that means there is a syllable mantra which has this Tara twice and concludes with the Fe. Om. So as I said, some scholars say that is not Tara but Hara. So the actual mantra is Om Nama Tari Namo Hari Hung Hari Soha. So you can see this Hari two times. Hari two times. Om Nama Tari Namo Hari Hung Hari Soha. So Hari Niju Silavina. Hari Niju Redua, Tara Niju Remedua. Or today version Chigores. In other text Mount Channel Tara Niju Stichidua. Oh yeah. So this Tara has a white color. That one face, four arms, sitting on a white lotus and moon seat. And he's actually sitting on a swan. Nangba dua for you. Sitting on a swan. Oh, they do. Go the path to do. Chokwa the student do. She's sitting on a swan. And observing the Bodhisattva posture. The first two hands are holding the gesture of joy, and second of the right hand is in the gesture of giving supreme bliss, and the second of the left is holding the same tree which has the essence of the fruit. Dungal sikji dolme tyoba. Arya duk dahan tara. Arya duk dahan tara. Dungal sikji dolme tyora. Dolme tyoba. Homage to you, Tara, upon whom the kings of the assembled gods, the gods themselves, and all kinnaras rely, whose magnificent armor gives joy to all, you who dispel all disputes and bad dreams. On that dire, Kandar. who would dispel all the bad dreams, arguments, and so forth. And she is one who is respected highly by celestial beings or those other beings. Miyamchi said, mi mai bache, min dawo ki che june ene sungjo nyinga yungyo sarwa. And dila pache di mire khares miyamchi sti dinde jine tagjo hisarade. Miyamchi mi mare ta min dawo mi number june nyinga dinde yusar dinde miyamchi tema. Kune kocha gawa jeji choda malam ngemba sema da dik nyota kema dwa. Oh yeah. Korobi sobota te ngemba any bad omens. So she has a white color, one face, two arms, sitting on a lotus and sun seat in the Bodhisattva posture, adorned with rays of light, and her two hands holding a pot with a butter lamp in her heart. So, whether it's removing poison, obstruction, bad dreams, hindrances, all these different taras are for that. Ngutum jungne dome toba. Arya Siddhi Sambhav Tara. Tangutum jungne dome toba di duksre do. Homage to you, Tara, whose two eyes, the sun and the moon, radiate an excellent illuminating light by uttering Hara twice. Tadil Hara dua. Twice and two Tara, you dispel all violent epidemic diseases. Tadana hian nasanguye tinde yuna yan domal dichena thakres. So she is in a wrathful aspect, and her two eyes are really like a fully developed sun. If you visualize her two eyes like a fully developed sun, which means very hot rays of light coming from her eyes, and that has the capacity to remove all the illnesses, obstructions, harms, temporary, inconveniences, and so forth. You should imagine that she burns all these obstructions and unwanted things. Now, if you visualize her in a peaceful form, then you can visualize her two eyes not in the form of sun, but in the form of two moons. Just as when we get the moonlight, we get a very soothing effect. So similarly, imagine that very soothing light of the moon from her eyes come to us. It's like really falling a nectar, and that in turn removes all the scorching heat of the afflictive emotions within us. Or if you do not want to make a distinction between wrathful and peaceful form, and then you can imagine that this very Tara Tara's two eyes, one like a sun doing the job as I explained, another like the moon doing the job as I explained. So the rays of light coming from the eye, which is like a sun, destroys all the sins, all the sufferings, just like a fire would destroy and burn everything. And from the eye, which is like a moon, the rays of light coming from there prolongs your life, contributes towards your wealth and richness and well-being. So the mantra of this semi-wrathful, if you visualize her in a semi-wrathful form, then the mantra is the one that contains the repetition of this mantra Hara 2 times. So which is Om Namatari, Namo Hari, Hung Hari Swaha. And similarly, the mantra represented by Tutara, Om Tari Tutari Swaha. So if you do that, then even the very difficult to restore epidemic diseases or chronic illnesses can be removed. Which means here the chronic disease and epidemic disease again refers not to the physical illnesses, but refers to the illnesses that comes from the afflictive emotions. We are suffering from chronic illnesses of afflictive emotions. Normally, of course, we say, if I ask you, are you okay? We say, okay. But of course, in the true sense of the term, we are not okay. Because we are enslaved by afflictive emotions. Anger is disease. Attachment is sickness. So we have all this. So from that point of view, we are suffering from those chronic illnesses. So she has a red yellowish color, one face, two arms, and sitting on a red lotus and moon disk in a bodhisattva posture, and the two hands is holding a vase, a golden colored vase. Ta dije dela ta last rewa yonsu zogje dormetewa changsel tinyi sumnam kyebesi. Homage to you, Tara, adorned by the three suchnesses, perfectly endowed with the power of serenity, you who destroy the host of evil spirits, raised corpses and yakshas, O Ture, most excellent and sublime. So, when a practitioner practices this Tara, then that yogi or practitioner has to visualize this Tara by imagining on one's crown white syllable Om, which symbolizes the Vajra body of Tara, and at your throat you imagine the red syllable A, which is the nature of the Vajra speech of the Tara, and at your heart you imagine the syllable Hung, blue syllable Hung, which is the entity or nature of the Vajra heart or Vajra mind of the Tara. Okay, changsel tingi sumnam kyebe. So that is the meaning of homage to you, adorned with the three natures of body, speech, and mind. Perfectly endowed with peaceful strength. So from these three letters that you've imagined, imagine three rays of light emanating, white, red, and blue, and that goes into your body, speech, and mind, and all the sicknesses, harms, sins related to your body, speech, and mind are removed. So she has that power. Perfectly endowed with peaceful strength. That means she is endowed with that power, that strength. Okay? So in this way, if you imagine your body, speech, and mind indivisible from the body, speech, and mind of the Tara, then there is a possibility to get rid of all the harms and evil forces. There are countless evil forces and harms that comes from all kinds of sentient beings or evil beings. So those can be removed through such visualization. You destroy demons, zombies, and yakshas, O Ture, most exalted and sublime. Oh yeah. So she is of white color, one face, three eyes, two arms, and she is sitting on the best of the animals, chuchok, cow nandi. So she is sitting on a lotus and moon disc, half cross-legged posture, and she is wearing a tiger skin. Her right hand is holding a rosary, left is holding a trident. That is one. So that is the end of explanation of the 21 Taras. So I'll quickly read the benefits. Om, I prostrate to the goddess for destroyer, liberating Lady Tara. Homage to Tare, savioress, heroine, with Tutare, dispelling of fears. granting all benefits with Ture, to her with sound Swaha. So this basically is talking about that seed syllable of Girintara, Om Tare Tu Tare Ture Swaha. Om Tare Tu Tare Ture Swaha. Om, all the mantras, normally all the mantras, they start with the letter Om, which is a combination of 3 letters, A, U, Ma, A, U, Ma, just as we say Om Mani Padme Hum. So Om is a combination of 3 letters, A, U, Om, A, U, and Ma, sorry, A, U, Ma, Om, which symbolizes the 3 things that we have: body, speech, and mind. Body, speech, and mind. So, for example, in the case of Om Mani Padme Hum, you are saying that this letter Om has 2 levels of meaning. One level of meaning refers to the pure body and speech and mind of the Buddha. And it could also refer to the impure body, speech, and mind of ordinary sentient beings. So our target is to purify this impure body, speech, and mind so that we gradually become a Buddha and get this pure body, speech, and mind. Okay? Om. And how would you do that? Through Mani and Padme. That means through method and wisdom. Compassion and wisdom. Okay? Through Mani and Padme. And if you practice method and wisdom, then you become Hung. Hung means indivisible. You will become one with the Buddha. So the process of becoming Buddha, or transforming your ordinary body, speech, and mind into that body, speech, and mind of the Buddha, is the method and wisdom, compassion and wisdom. Okay? Om Mani Padme Hum. Hum means to become one, indivisible, become Buddha. So similarly, you will see this letter Om in the beginning. Okay? So here also you are saying, when you recite this seed syllable mantra of Tara, you are also saying that Om means my ordinary body, speech, and mind become similar to the body, speech, and mind of the Tara. Tare, Tu Tare, whatever you say, that basically means the liberator, the savioress, and all that. Okay? Om, I prostrate to the goddess, fourth destroyer. And the Tara is a fourth destroyer, means one who had already destroyed all the negative afflictive emotions. Liberating lady. She is called liberating lady because she, as I said yesterday, she had taken a vow when she was on the path of training. She said, I will become enlightened, I will become a Buddha, not in the form of a male, but in the form of a woman, so that I can continuously help other sentient beings in the form of a women. Liberating lady Tara. Tara Santa Dolma. Homage to Tare, savioress. One who savioress means one who protects sentient beings. Heroine, because she is not scared of fighting against negative emotions or destroying the evil forces. With Tutare, dispelling all fears. Dispelling all fears. 16 fears. There is a lot of stories of Tara dispelling the 16 types of fears or 8 types of fears, which we'll read later on. Granting all benefits with Ture. Granting all benefits with the Ture does not mean that you just sit there and he will come and give you all the goodies. That's not the meaning, as we discussed already, that unless you make the effort, nobody can deliver you like that. So it means if your mind is ready, if you seek her help, sincerely, honestly, then he will be there to protect you, to help you. That's the meaning. Granting all benefits, temporary benefits, long-term benefits. To her with the sound Swaha, I bow. Om to the transcendent subduer, Arya Tara. Arya again means one who had transcended the ordinary path. I prostrate. Homage to the glorious one who frees with Tare. With Tare you calm all fears. You bestow all. So the story about this mantra is also there, so you can read it. I don't want to spend a lot of time there. And then there's a printing mistake, so we'll go to this line, benefits of reciting the homage, sage dua, phajongel. Those endowed with perfect and pure respect for these goddesses. So that means those people who are not so intelligent, who have faith, they will also benefit. Those endowed with perfect and pure respect, even though you are not very intelligent, but with very strong faith, you will also get benefit. And then those who are intelligent, they will not simply follow without questioning, but they will also analyze and see the benefits of such practice and get a lot of benefit. So both those who are intelligent and those intelligent who recite these praises with most supreme faith, that tepa gorawa, tepa mene yungi yamar. Tepa yona chisul ringsel tungs. If there is a faith, then even the dog's teeth will be relaxed. There is a story. With faith, and then most importantly, if you develop faith based on knowledge, then that will be very, very effective. Both in the evening and upon waking at dawn, that is the time when you should read. Both in the evening, of course you can read any time, but time suggested is both in the evening and upon waking at dawn, will have fearlessness bestowed on them by this remembrance. Then, after being purified of all evils completely, they will attain destruction of lower realms. Because she symbolizes the countless Buddhas. She has the blessings of countless Buddhas. They will attain destruction of lower realms, and the 7 million conquering Buddhas will quickly grant them every empowerment. That means you will also be able to see these Buddhas, countless Buddhas. For example, if you sincerely visualize Buddha or His Holiness in the day, it's very likely that in the dream also you will see them. So whatever we do in the day, it's very likely that you will again get an experience of that in the night. So familiarity, habituation. So in whichever area you get habituated, positive or negative. If you get habituated with the negative, you will think negative, speak negative, act negatively, and dream also will be negative. So in this way you get your whole being habituated with those things, and then go down, 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 down. If you make yourself habituated with positive things, remember, talk, think, read about those things, not only in the day, in the dream also you will get those experiences. Then at the time of death also you will get those experiences. When you are in the intermediate state also you will get those experiences. So that's how you get, benefit from this practice. Nyudawan Kurban Jula. And then on the left page, Dili Chevani ne Tobji Sage Dua, the test Tusha. Thus they will attain greatness and so forth. Thus they will attain greatness and so forth. Dili Chevani ne Tobji. Dili Chevani ne Tobji. So that Dili Chevani ne Tobji, that means thus they will attain greatness and so forth. Means even in this life, from this practice, even in this life, you will actualize greater things, superior things, in terms of your body, in terms of the place you stay, in terms of your enjoyment, and in terms of your other facilities. You will get all those, attain greatness and so forth. And not only that, finally you will actualize the ultimate state of Supreme Buddhahood, Mahamudra as we call it, the top grace. So temporarily and ultimately you will get those benefits as a result of all violent poisons, whether abiding within or spreading to others. So when you undertake such a practice, and you can also stop yourself being harmed by very powerful and strong poisons. Poisons that may be in the plants, animals. As a result of all violent poisons, whether abiding within, abiding within the nature, like in the water, in the trees, in the fruits, like aconite. And then there are also man-made poisons. Okay? Then similarly there are poisons that are found in other aspects of the nature, or among sentient beings. For example, poisons that you find in a scorpion, in a snake, or in nagas. So even if you eat or drink unknowingly those poisons, it will not affect you if you recite those. Okay? Thus they have eaten or drunk, by this remembrance will be completely removed, and they will eliminate quickly all afflictions by spirits, epidemics, poisons, and all various sufferings. It is actually similar to what we have already read. This is simply like summarizing the benefits of such practice. So in this way, not only you will be able to get those benefits and get rid of sufferings, you will be able to benefit others in a similar way. Simje shamba nam la yang so chikbu mare simje shamba la ya phengres. Arwa ni sum dundu ngombar jona. If for oneself and for the sake of others, these praises are read sincerely 2, 3 or 7 times. Ni sum dundu ngombar jona sedren deshe khashe judwa. Ni sum dundu ngombar jonas. According to some explanation, that means during the first recitation, you should recite this 21 Tara prayer 2 times. For example, if you are, offering a Tara Mandala prayer, a longer Tara Mandala prayer, then first round you recite this 21 Tara prayers 2 times. Then second round you 3 times, and third round you recite this 7 times. There's one version, one way of explaining it. The other version is Ni Sum 2, Ni Sum 2, the sage dua. These praises are read sincerely 2. 2 means not 2 times recitation of the 21 prayers, but 2 means day and night. Out of the 2, day and night. So in the day and in the night, so divide that out of these 2 periods, day and night. You undertake this practice of 3 sessions in the day, 3 sessions in the night. That is sum. Ni sum sidu. Ni the say ni de la tu sum sum. Je any tu re la dun dun. Tu re la dun dun. Each of the sessions 7 times. So 7 6 are 42. So 42 times. So that's one version. This praise is read sincerely 2, 3 or 7 times. Those wishing a child will get child. And those wishing wealth will attain that as well, without obstruction. All their wishes will be granted. So not just child and wealth, but all their wishes will be granted. And every single hindrances will be destroyed as it arises. This does not mean to say that you simply do this prayer and don't do work and all your problems will be solved, money will flow, not like that. But what it's really saying is, in addition to your hard work, and occasionally if you encounter these hindrances and problems, if you sincerely and with great faith and a possible very good understanding, if you pray to Tara and recite this, it will definitely help. And this is, we have no time, but if you read this longer story, there are many stories of how different people practicing Tara got protected from like robbers, from thieves, from wild elephants, poisons, tigers, many, many stories. And not only that, there are, even these days, there are people, for example, there are some people a couple, who had really difficulty having child. Then some lama suggested that and they had a child. There are cases like that. I mean, I'm not saying that it will always be like that and it will act like a miracle, but depends on many things. But there are cases. So therefore, let us stop. And thank you very much for spending your time for these five sessions. I don't know whether you got any benefit or not, but I got a lot of benefit, because normally I will be just wasting my time. So I got an opportunity to at least, read this a little bit and try to explain this a little bit, which is leaving a positive imprint on my mind. So therefore, I must thank all of you. And we are all Buddhist. And as His Holiness, we are Buddhists of the 21st century. So blind faith will not work, especially with younger children, educated people. Blind faith will not work. So therefore it is important to spend time, reflect, think, study, and see the benefit. Finding the truth from the fact, as we say in politics, finding the truth from the fact. Okay? Because as I said, once you change your way of thinking, knowledge comes through changing your way of thinking. Happiness comes by changing your way of thinking. Miracle comes by changing your way of thinking. Sufferings can be reduced by changing your way of thinking. So this thinking, having proper perspective, which means a perspective which is in harmony with the nature, a perspective which is not narrow, a perspective which is wide, which has the capacity to reflect on all aspects of reality. And in today's world particularly, it is very important to have this openness of the mind based on knowledge. Otherwise, people just fighting for religion, fighting for different traditions. Extremely, extremely stupid. Okay? So therefore, I hope that these 5 sessions that we had this time collected some merit and hopefully some imprint in the mind of some people. And I think this is in harmony with what His Holiness is always advising, that we should study, reflect. So this is another small effort that we are all making. And so therefore, whatever merit that we have earned through these 5 days, let us dedicate it for the long life of His Holiness Dalai Lama and all the great teachers, not just Buddhist teachers, but all the great teachers living in the whole world, and great people, good people. Because in Buddhism we have not a prayer but a kind of saying which says, the sinners should have short life. So we should pray, of course, for everybody, but especially for good people who are trying to do good things. So may they live long, because if you are benefiting others, doing good things, there is a reason to live long. If you are simply bringing misery, suffering, trouble, there's not much reason to live. Honestly speaking, there's not much reason. Of course you will say it's my human right, but I don't know what does that mean. There's not much purpose, there's not much benefit. So the very birth that we have taken on this earth is to be of some benefit to others. The very special intelligence that we have is for constructive practices. So therefore, we should enjoy that we have obtained this very precious human life, and repeatedly we should make some promise that I will try my best. I will try my best. We will fail several times, sometimes miserably, but if you keep on saying, we keep on saying that I will change, I will change, I will change, I will change. You have to say that, you see. You have to say that. You have to repeat this mantra, I will become better, I will become better. Remind yourself, read the book, think about it, and then gradually you will change. You get habituated. So it should be just like watching a football when there is a football match, and then even if we are the cheerers sitting on the sideline, but when we support our group of players, then we verbally shout, hey, like they verbally shout, showing that you're full support. Physically you get up and raise your hands, and that all comes through thinking, because there's strong wish that your party win, so you physically, verbally, mentally involved. So when it comes to doing Dharma practice also, it should be something like that. It should be there. The involvement of body, speech and mind must be there. But normally, unfortunately, it's not there. Your speech may be saying something, but your hand will be doing something else. Mind may not be there. Okay. Physically, you may be doing some prostration, but your mind may not be there. Things like that. So it's important to involve body, speech, mind, which means you're wholly there. Wholly there. Okay. So let us enjoy, because it's a Buddhist way that when you complete something good, then there's the time to rejoice. Rejoice. So let us rejoice and pray that we'll get such opportunity again and again to spend some time, quality time, reflect on the Dharma or anything, that's good doing that. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.